Hello, everybody, and welcome to Star Chasers episode 24, Lost Lore. Last time, the Star Chasers found Lily Rose Strongheart, aka the Hester of Mirador's mother, on a spaceship called the Winter's Tooth, which was captained by one Joseph Winters, Father of the Year. Hester and her mom talked about what happened. Hester's mom had died, her name being actually Hester, and being the Hester of Mirador, died and was reincarnated as a gnome. They had a heart-to-heart and talked it out, and there's going to be some information sharing at the beginning of this episode. Meanwhile, Storm of Stars got into a cat and cat game with Honey of Bees. Oh yeah. She attempted to cast a Gesh, stupid Irish, Gesh spell. Have words that sound like they look on him, which he successfully avoided. Tried to polymorph, she avoided. There were some counter spells back and forth until eventually she failed a suggestion and was very forthcoming about some information on the group of One Eyes of Fire, which have sort of been lurking in the shadows around the group and where they have been. And Marley attempted to stop Knifey from destroying his insides. It didn't work. And now...
And me and Minerva joined a book club.
Minerva and Marley's Finer Things book club.
Of a sort.
And now the rest of the crew of the Winter's Tooth have joined the crew of the Charming Anecdote at a big long table. The dwarf cook of... the other ship, whose name is...
Karis Coldforge.
Has brought over all of her hearty dwarven cooking stews, pastas. It's all English and Italian food somehow.
Oh, yeah.
To mix with Villyana's drowish cooking, which is a lot of mushrooms. So, big long table. You all may sit wherever you'd like. Interspersed interns are here as well. Alvar, Warminster, Knifey, the whole lot. Princess Friendship is taking up is at the kids' table.
I will sit sort of with my crew. But before I part from Honey of Bees, I'll say this meeting may be an excellent time to reconsider your standing with the other crew and consider your potential with ours. So I'm going to maintain that concentration since I have probably 7 hours left.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. Oh yeah. She'll think about that. Can Joey come? I know the answer is no.
Joey, right. He's got his own ship.
Oh, that's a good point. Too many alpha males.
Right?
So big.
And Joey,
Hollywood.
too. There's alpha males and there's Joey, too.
Oh, wow. Cool burn. And
so I'll just go and sit across the table. Keep an eye on.
Yeah, she goes back to Joey and sort of hangs on him, and he kind of makes eyes and at you a couple times, and clearly not getting the message. He's not getting the message.
Okay. He's making
chest.
like Joey menage a Joey eyes.
Yeah, he's into it.
Oh, I
Yes.
see. Okay. Well, I'll lure him into a false sense of security then. I won't discourage him outright at this point.
Okay.
His ship for sure has a conversation pit that's mostly pillars. No thanks.
I will do my best to be smiling and enigmatic.
I invented the waterbed.
Oh,
It's a bad idea.
in the phlogiston too.
It's terrible. Okay. Marley, Knifey leans over to you and says, at some point says, Miss Marley, I don't know what it is, but I don't feel so good.
Oh no.
Do you think maybe it was something you ate?
Yeah, it's these mushrooms. They just don't agree with me.
Okay, well, I don't have anything to destroy the poison that you put within yourself.
Oh, I can help. Is Knifey's sick? Knifey.
I'm not feeling good now.
Oh.
Master of Stars.
Oh,
I'm gonna just sort of like just give him a little scritch, and I'll cast Lesser Restoration.
Okay.
That poison.
Yeah, the color, his face had sort of turned a lime green, and now it turns back to a much more vibrant forest green. And he said,
Good.
"Oh yeah, okay. I learned my. Thank you so much, Master of Stars. I learned my lesson. No more vegetables for me.
oh no. You should still eat vegetables.
No.
Just maybe not gas station vegetables.
Oh yes, I think Marley's right about that.
Or
Absolutely.
really anything from a fuel station.
What? Not what about hard-boiled eggs?
No.
It's in one ear and out the other. I guarantee it.
No shellfish.
How about
Oh,
only
shellfish.
only take food from Villyana? How about that? Let's make that a rule.
What about the little roly tacos?
What am I supposed to do? Just throw away this 12-pack of clams?
Ugh.
In this
We can save
economy?
them as a bioweapon if we're challenged with an otherwise unassailable foe.
What if one of them has a
much-
pearl in it?
Ooh.
What if?
Well, okay, maybe we can
You can-
investigate that in a controlled environment,
Yeah.
but
How much
maybe
food
not
do
while we're
you
all about to
have?
eat.
It's most of my possessions. I got this knife and a sack of food.
I'm really worried about Bubsy.
What?
Oh, he's fine. He likes my party some.
When's the last time we saw Bubsy?
It's been a bit.
No, are you?
Oh
Do you-
no!
Do we have a locate?
What
Bubsy?
to say? It's only an episode or two ago.
His hamster.
The big hamster.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Can we scry the hamster?
It
Yeah.
is a much larger ship. I will have.
it is a
everyone
bigger
remember.
ship. So someone scries or quickly looks out for the hamster. No, the hamster's just sleeping somewhere. It mostly sleeps. It's like a cat.
Oh, okay. Well, I bet we could find him if we just went
Remember,
into the
it only
helm,
shoots a
right?
cannon if it distributes a food pellet. It's a lazy animal.
Knifey pulls out a tuna salad sandwich.
Oh no, knifey.
No.
Knifey.
Can I just whack it out of his hand, please?
Okay, well. Okay, that just... It's just, yeah, okay, I get it. Fine. So I can't
Can I
have
go through
sushi,
your room later?
fried chicken, any kind of seafood, no hard-boiled eggs. What? What's next?
Like a
You told me the warm yogurt's bad too?
Oh, yeah.
do not microwave your yogurt,
I'm,
kids.
I'm making myself.
Well, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, what do we know about goblin metabolism? Maybe this is perfectly normal.
I don't think it's normal for anyone.
Well, goblins. I mean,
He was just sick, Storm. You just said to use lesser restoration on him.
Well, yeah, but I mean, maybe. I mean,
I
maybe
don't think
not
he has a
everything
mushroom
makes
allergy.
Why are we talking about how it was probably the mushrooms? I wasn't sick before I ate the mushrooms.
It might have been
Okay.
the mushrooms.
Well,
I mean,
then
I
let's
don't
do a
know.
controlled experiment. How about you lay off the gas station stuff for right now?
Well, I totally.
And then we'll
have a heart-
see if it's the mushrooms.
Okay. Okay.
I support that idea.
He kind of picks at the mushroom stew you're eating. He's having a hard time eating it with his knife.
It's chunky, right?
It is. Yes.
Can I attach a spoon to the other end of his knife for him?
Wow, okay. Yeah, we had these where I came from. They're called a Cormier army knife.
Are they neutral, Cormier?
I think so. They're a vaguely European kingdom, and I used them to name lots of things. Cormier toast.
Cormier toast.
The next time I try to manslaughter Knifey, I just want everyone to recall this scene in particular.
What? Why would you goblin slaughter him?
Just
No, wait. What's the? Would it be gnome slaughter? Oh, sorry, halflish slaughter or goblin slaughter?
It'll never hold up in court.
Who's being slaughtered or who's slaughtering for the manslaughter substitute?
No jury would convict me.
It is an excellent question, though.
I don't know.
Yeah, so Lost Ones, Andrew.
Yes. We don't want to talk about my goblin boy's health problems.
I enjoy a good faffing about, so it is absolutely your show.
Okay, no. So the Lost Ones.
There is some lore, however,
as
promised in the title.
As promised in the title, even. Okay. So eventually, everyone sort of quiets down. Your mother is like glaring at Knifey as if she gets it. Like, you don't have to say anything; she just gets it.
Thank you.
You've tried. I understand.
Yeah.
He's been here the whole time.
I highly doubt that. Wait a minute.
Like, just stowaway.
We had
We've
one
been
of them
talking
too.
about it. It's however many episodes in, we've stopped talking about it.
We had someone named Shanksy. Looks a lot like him, I'll be honest.
Yes. No, I guarantee you they're family.
Kept wanting the Shiv things. It was very odd.
Right?
Yeah, they do that.
Okay. So, Hester, Mrs. Strongheart, says the things we know. Let me start by saying, as I mentioned, the first sphere I journeyed to, leaving Mirador, leaving Story Space, was a sphere called Saren Space. It was connected, and contact had been lost. It was a predominantly kind of Shivers Eladrin sphere. Yes. And says once I reached the sphere, and in a slight retcon from last week, every planet had been strip mined essentially, so that they weren't totally destroyed, but they were essentially left as being just a ball of mud. There was nothing left, no evidence of civilization, no people, nothing.
Okay.
Let's see. I wondered what could do this to a place. I attempted to do some research, and I found the rumors of Clockwork Horrors and the Lost Ones. If one thinks of worlds as parts of the body, then one must think of Clockwork Horrors as viruses that do their best to destroy every part. Not that we know anything about that. She says there was a group of books, commonly known as the Library of Celestia. A large hoard of books that I tracked down to be in a dragon's hoard. That dragon killed me while attempting to even locate the items in his hoard. It was so massive. Dragons.
I know, yes.
What dragon killed you?
You don't have to tell me.
A particularly old red dragon named Ignan.
Well... Fuck me.
What were you looking for in its hoard?
Essentially a full library that he captured called the Library of Celestia.
Celestia, right. Okay.
Isn't that the one that we're... Yeah.
Well, that gives some clarity. It seems our goals are aligning. Clearly, it's... Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
This dragon then killed you, Mother?
Yes. Unfortunately. Stupid dragon. I this supposed to be real.
Yes, they are.
Apologies, Mum, but it seemed senile and short-sighted. Remember the dragon I was telling you about? I saw in kind of a dream, but kind of not a dream, and all that. Yeah, that's
was one and the same.
Yes, and it used little bifocals and
yes.
Seemed real grumpy.
I found out from the crew here that some particularly ancient red dragons can detect every coin in their hoard, so they know when things are, for instance, walking upon them or digging through them.
I see.
Doesn't need to see very well to breathe fire in a general direction.
Suppose that makes some sense.
So
okay.
You died by fire?
I did. Immolated, yes.
I'm so sorry.
Thank
must
you.
have been horrible.
It was unpleasant. Something I hope to never repeat.
But you think being the Hester saved you? You said it was one of the side effects of your magic, right?
Yes, after I cast a spell, I had one of my outbursts. And as soon as I died, I was resurrected as a gnome. I cannot prove that such was the case, but I do believe it, yes. Unless this is some sort of afterlife, which is very possible. A very weird afterlife, but an afterlife.
Yes, it doesn't seem to live up to any of the other legends, which... we can talk to Marley about that, actually. She's friends with the Raven Queen.
I'm sorry?
I'm her emissary.
I am too.
Like... The god.
No, funny. Yes. No, as in the goddess of death. Yes. There she is, cute as a button down there. Friends, servant of the Raven Queen. And, I met her. Was in her chamber as she was go do this for me. Funny story there. Her go do this for me was go to Ignan's Hoard and get a Raven Giggle. What was it, dear?
The Blood Crystal Raven Skull?
Yes.
Yeah, he's not gonna like that.
No.
Well,
he made that pretty clear. A lot of dragons have made that pretty clear.
Yes, did you know dragons had their own god of death?
Pardon?
He's
it's not just
kind of a real butthole. Yeah.
And he is apparently real rude on the phone, so...
On the dream phone.
I don't know where dragons get on thinking they get their own gods now. That doesn't seem right.
Yes, no, there's the two, right? You would kind of think there's just the two.
They wrestle through time.
They wrestle through time. Oh, thank God someone's making sense again.
Well, I've heard that story, of course, but that doesn't mean they're the only ones. And I mean, come on, gods are just beings. They have consciousness, and they're different scales of power and awareness and all of that. But I mean, you can talk to them, right? I mean,
multiple.
Meaning no disrespect, Marley, to your patron.
Well, plural of them ring Marley on the regular.
Right, exactly.
Well, it still feels exceptional to me, I suppose.
But I mean, this also really reinforces all our talk about, our paths being aligned. I mean,
there certainly does seem to be an uncanniness that,
like destiny, right, Hester? Hestiny?
I will acknowledge that later, perhaps. Seems just strange. Now, Mother, this was in pursuit of this Library of Celestia. Do you still believe that that's essential to finding and stopping these lost ones?
She says, I don't think it is essential, but I do think it would be helpful. There's still so much we don't know. I know a little bit more I can share, but there's a lot to not know. And if this has any sort of clue or insight, that is always helpful.
And you've seen this more than once, or your only encounter was in the sphere, the Saren sphere?
She says that her only direct encounter is in the Saren sphere. Okay. But that she has heard enough rumors, and she kind of points at the dwarf, and that she says the Karis has encountered directly another sphere that was impacted.
Yes, KRS-1, please rock us. Sorry, for whatever reason I couldn't resist. Yes, Karis, then, do you mind telling your story?
Of course. She awkwardly stands.
Also, these are great. Mom rude.
Yeah, she awkwardly stands, and she says that a sphere adjacent to her own, tier space it was called.
TYR or
TYR space, yeah.
Okay.
It was they had just developed spelljamming technology. They were she describes them as Viking like. And that one day they simply stopped their trading, and we had developed sort of an interdependency with them. They provided us with much needed lumber, and we provided them with certain expensive iron or metal ores.
Did you say that they have tree ships, or or they have more like long ships?
They had like long ships made of. They were made of wood, but yeah, long ships.
And do they take their names? Maybe this is an out of character question, but from Tyr, the Norse god?
Yes.
Okay, cool. The one who lost his hand to the Fenris Wall.
Yes.
Got it.
Sorry.
Will.
I can't remember if Tyr was Norse or Gaelic, but yes. Yes, one and the same. They worshipped. She will describe the Norse pantheon: Odin, Thor,
cool,
Frigga. Which, as people from the Forgotten Realms, you also know of a tier. So,
yes. I wasn't sure which we were going for there, but okay.
Is there overlap with the deities?
There is.
I don't think there's certainly a pantheon guide in the back of the book, but I think the tiers are different, though, right?
They are different. They share a name and kind of some similarity. They both
similar domain.
They're justice and warriors and stuff like that. I can't remember how Forgotten Realms Tyr loses his hand. I think he cuts his own hand off because he did something dishonorable. But
right, it just reinforces the whole idea of them being just like us, where there's multiversal options and stuff. You know?
Yes, okay.
Cool.
But she says, eventually, we took our spelljamming ships, which you all have not encountered a dwarven spelljamming ship, but they are giant mountains with dwarven reliefs carved into them that look like a big dwarf head.
Awesome. Like Zardoz?
Yeah, they just fly them through space.
Awesome. Flying dwarf heads in space.
The gun is good and you feed it guns.
They're powered by forging. They have to craft masterwork items, and then they just throw them into like a spelljammer forge, essentially, and it propels them. And she says that much like Hester described, they found a sphere devoid of life with a bunch of mud balls, and that they had only lost contact for 2 or 3 years before they mounted an expedition to be like, because they were a new enough spelljamming race that perhaps war had simply kind of overtaken them and they just stopped going to space for a bit. But it was long enough that they eventually decided to investigate and found this and nothing else. So Karis went to the stars to try and find out more because it broke her heart personally. The other dwarves were like, humans are short-lived anyway, who cares? But
yeah. Well,
some of the other dwarves.
I have another stream to recommend to them.
Yes.
Now, Fen and Yanara, or Yamara, if my terrible handwriting is correct.
They're the elves, right?
They're the elves.
Yes, yep. Fenmar and Yanara. Yep.
Okay. And they are expats from the Elvish Armada, correct?
Yes, yeah, they are. Now, yes, expats. That's the nice way to put defector.
Yeah, sure. It depends on your perspective.
Yes.
You are also believers, right? Is that part of why you left? It is. Why don't I save me the guesswork and ask you your story?
Yes. They, both your mother and they will nod and say, we also fell upon Saren space.
Okay.
Our Ladrin brothers and sisters, they called for aid. The Armada responded, and we found nothing. And our superior said that the Armada is spread too thin. They have fought too many wars with the Skro. The Unhuman Wars took too great a toll, and they simply cannot provide the aid they once did. And we thought that was not what we signed up for. What's the point of having this if we can't help people everywhere, elves or not? But particularly our own kind. So we left and we defected in fairy space around here. They're a little nervous still about it. And found Hester and Karis and Captain Winters, such a competent and handsome captain. He makes us say that part. Captain Winters puts his feet up on the table.
Oh no. I'm gonna mage hand his feet off the table.
He's 98%
mage paw.
Oh, these games we play, Storm.
He wants me.
Right. He's all getting creepy with me. Yeah.
Again, he's a swinger.
Right.
From like the old school.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Crusty around the edges.
We have our own scoundrel captain, but boy, I am counting my blessings right now.
Yeah.
He has never once proposed we have a key party. Feeling good about that already. So,
that sounds like a good way to lose your keys.
He only points his finger at us, thankfully.
Fucking brilliant, by the way. And I love that that's Arwen's attitude of, I need that.
It's
That's
important.
how I get in my room. What a terribly pragmatic missing of the point. Okay, well, I unfortunately, one way or the other, we have business with Ignan, which I am kind of keep side-eyeing my mother about, which I'm not terribly excited about.
Yep.
Well, again, it can't be accidental that we've encountered them. So, I mean...
Yeah, she says, if Marley needs an item from the Horde, we can... I mean, that is more important. If we can get in and get it, if it's a single item, the problem with the library is it's a library. It's much harder to steal that.
Well, but to create the conditions necessary to steal anything might allow for us to steal more than just one thing, because they might have to be extraordinary conditions indeed. And so it's possible we might be able to access at least some of this library for you if, I don't know, tactics employed to perhaps get the dragon out of the cave, rest, flow of time, or
I hesitate to mention it. I know a way to get to its hoard. I already did it. I don't know how real it was, and so I don't know how real that was. But like, I felt the gold under my feet. I felt the air on my face. I saw all of it. I was able to shout through a porthole and talk to my mother.
Did you? Right, that was the part.
Not excited to visit Johnny Eyeballman's buffet of horrors again, but it did leave me untouched.
Yeah, but aren't we doubling our danger that way? Like...
Oh, most certainly. Yes, Marty.
Because either way, we're going to the dragon's hoard, so why would we double our danger by also going through the Eyeball Man way?
Well, I didn't say we. I would suggest perhaps a smaller force. There are a few things there. Let's weigh some pros and cons. If we go and confront Ignan in their lair, we have proof. That's not great. Point to my gnomish mother, which some of you may miss the point, but I get it. But also, then we have to go back to hero space, con our way onto a chaotic evil world with no chaotic evil agents. Love to hear that story, by the way, mother. Get all of us down there, then enter a ancient evil dragon's lair. With my mythology's not great, but the older they get, the more unbeatable they get. I don't know how much of that is real in legend. Certainly there are stories of some of them falling, but it's always some epic thing with a guy throwing a lightning bolt or something. You know what I mean? So we have to do all of that, then get all of us into this lair, at which point more of us are in danger, and more of us are prone to dying. In the attempt, which, Storm, I may be misreading your subtext, but you might be suggesting we just go in and kill it, and then we have all the time in the world.
No, not kill it. I mean, distract it, or create. I mean, may I ask, Lady Hester, what were the circumstances under which you came to your demise exactly? Were you?
How did you get on a chaotic evil planet, Mother? Yes, answer his question.
Well, that's part of it, but I mean, please, yes, I'm interested in that. But really, the main part is like, how did you come to die? Did you try to talk to it?
Yeah, did you ask it real nice?
Oh, I did. Yes. Okay. So several things. One, I just want a quick question. Everybody present, something my daughter said reminded me. Does anyone have like a sword from a lake? Those seem to help fight dragons. Anybody?
A what?
A sword that they found in a lake.
I have a
Maybe a
talking
lady threw
sword.
at you from a lake.
I have a talking sword that
Um,
I took from my dad.
Yar.
It talks like a pirate.
that sounds like it'd be a good lake sword.
Well, that does...
I
Hey,
have
Blackjammers Atlas, have you been in any lakes?
Yar. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Was a lady in there with you?
Yar. There once was a lady in a lake. Yar.
Did she
A
give...
gentleman never tells.
Did she give you away?
Oh, she
what?
sure yeeted me right out of that lake. Yar.
To my dad or to someone else?
To someone else.
Okay, so he has been in a lake with a lady, and she...
Can we hear the sword too, or just Marley?
Just Marley for the most part. It
Okay.
It technically can speak. It does not often. You occasionally hear a yar.
Oh, okay, right. But so can you? I mean, can it hurt dragons? Ask it that.
Hey, can you hurt dragons?
Yar. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like real good, like better than the average sword?
Yar, no. Like average. I mean, +1.
Okay. Well, you're like mine, but without the sass.
Mildly above average.
Thank you. I am magical. Yes, it is. It is functionally no better a sword than a loom. It's just backtalky.
Right. But
it's the opposite.
Crafted in a lake, or...
It casts darkness as opposed to fairy fire. But
yeah, I don't think it's gonna help a lot in that category, whether it's been in a lake or not.
So, is that some matter of pertinence, ma'am?
Oh no, I seem to understand that swords from lakes are helpful.
Does anyone have any lightning bolts they can hurl? Is anyone owed a favor by Bahamut?
Not yet.
Well, here's the thing. I mean,
Marley, your optimism is only equaled by your honesty. I do care for you deeply. Thank you. Yes.
Did you? So
at the rate I'm going.
Multiple dragon
ask
gods.
for access to the library?
Okay, so she says, I did end up on a chaotic evil planet.
Yes.
It's have you ever heard of a guy called Tensor?
Tensor? Well, actually, it's funny you say that. I think we met him recently.
Okay. Yeah, he's a chatty fellow and a good person to have on your side. He somehow convinced them to let me, on a probationary basis, onto the chaotic evil planet. I
like you were chaotic evil curious or something?
Yeah, like I said, well, a part
Trainee.
of being the Hester is about balance, so both the good and the evil. So I went to the lawful good planet. It was very boring. And then I went to the chaotic evil planet. It was less boring because I died. But the conflict came down to, I simply asked the dragon to borrow some books from his library. It's a library after all. Right. He did not care for that, and he said, I haven't had Hobbit. He called me a Hobbit in so long. And then he tried to eat me.
Oh. That's a problem. Yeah. Because I was going to suggest, like, maybe we could offer something exchange, or...
is very litigious.
Well, I mean, certainly, I presented my library card, which I was told was my greatest weapon in elementary school, and that was a lie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, primary school.
I can't tell if I messaged this to Marley. I can't tell if she's taking the piss or if she means what she's saying. I can't tell if she's toying with us in a way. Is she kidding?
The day that libraries lie to us is just...
It broke my heart.
Why would she lie to us?
No, not lie. I just, I think she's sort of, I don't know. It's funny. So you... It wanted to eat you. So did it eat you?
No, well, no. I it burned me. I think it was proceeding to dredge me through salt and some sort of dipping sauce. When I resurrected, I think that startled it. I gave it a mild cardiac incident, and during that time, I teleported away.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's weakened, is what you're saying.
Temporarily.
Do you know how long ago this happened?
She'll think. We've been in fairy space an awfully long time. Perhaps 2 months.
Okay.
So
So
what are you doing in fairy space?
She says, I had to find a new captain. Points at... Or no, that's not true. The captain had to find a new girlfriend. I have been attempting to use fairy space's vast libraries to do more research, but they do not have much in the way of information. Unfortunately.
Okay, and were any of your crew there as well? You went on this solo mission.
I thought I could reason with the dragon. I didn't think dragons were real, first of all.
Thank you, yes. And no, my first thought was they're not real. I've now seen
I thought
one.
it would be some sort of pseudo-dragon or like an illusion.
Yeah, some kind of drake or wyvern, which from a distance... Most people think they've seen UFOs are actually the planet Venus.
Interesting.
Yes, but so most people who think they've seen a dragon have just seen a wyvern. You know what I mean? Or a... Yes. Okay.
Or pseudo-dragon. They think it's much further than it is.
Yeah, which is mostly a fairy, right? It's not even
barely anything.
Yeah, I don't think it's typed dragon, if we're being honest. So, okay. Well, that's not great, because I feel like any appeal we bring it's going to be like, I haven't eaten a elf or a catman or another hobbit. Rude, by the way. Don't use the H word. Use the other H word. But, so, yes, I do fear conflict, unless, I noticed that we're kind of moving past the use the Eibelman's portal to everywhere plan, which
I don't like
might
it.
be wisdom. I'm just saying it might work.
Your mother says, if you believe it will work, I trust you.
So what does
I have
that
to
mean?
keep hearing you discuss your death, and now you're saying very nice mom things, so I'm going to just take a moment, if you don't mind. All right.
What, so you're really going to use the palant?
Well, it's an idea, isn't it, Storm? I don't know. I never fought dragons before.
Well, I mean, I don't know that you should go against one by yourself. That's all.
Yeah,
Well,
the last time we didn't even know if you were going to come back. Like, what if you don't come back?
How about this? We have someone cast protection from evil and good on you, right? You're ready to do it again, but we have to create some sort of distraction to get that dragon out of the cave, so you have time to get in there and get out safely.
It's certainly an option. It's just an option. I'm not
Because if
suggesting
you go
it.
in, you can go in from Winvania's place, and we can, we can create some sort of...
Doesn't anyone know any normal teleportation spells?
I have teleportation circle, but I don't know if we can get into the sphere without, permission. I mean, we know that Tensor is influenceable, so perhaps we can get in, and maybe we can cast from there. Maybe we can even get the sigil sequence. So I can cast that spell. I actually have the slot to do it right now. So if we wanted to do it now, we could. But
Well, and then we have. Is it worth bringing in extra allies? Is it worth doing a whole heist movie episode? Like,
Absolutely.
There are things to consider. Are we going with full frontal force, which I don't recommend, but
I think it's full frontal distraction first, and we have to be ready, and we have to think about tactics, because our strategy is to get it out of the cave and keep it out of the cave long enough for you to get in and out via the Palantir backdoor, which we also have to keep safe for you.
Now,
Because we
mind
can't have
you,
Eyeballman eat your brain out backwards.
and this is
right?
in part Hester and Marty. Mind you, that puts me on an entirely different planet than the action.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
And it's putting
aren't
me in the
you-
position to make the charisma saving throw, which I think I got a little lucky last time. Maybe Storm, if anyone's making charisma saving throws.
Well, I
Again,
can
that's a
use
little
the Palantir
metagamey.
then. I can do
but-
it. Sure. I've also
but-
got stealth. Yeah,
So-
I'll go in. That's fine. It doesn't have to be you, but I'm just going to propose. Go ahead.
Just listing our assets, that's all, is that we
Uh-huh.
do have a back door that may or may not be real. My fear there is that I didn't take anything. I don't have a physical coin from there. I
Yes, I thought
feel-
about that too.
that I went there. So if you get the Ruby Raven Skull or whatever and run out of your childhood home's window and come back to reality and you have nothing in your hand, then
Then we know that we can't do that, and
two of
that's
us died from
one step.
Dragonfire in the attempt, though. Maybe
but I mean, yes,
got an
Dragonfire,
alternate.
maybe
Yeah.
not. Maybe there are things we can do as a team, but it's not just us. We've got other people, and maybe we can create a distraction or an illusion, or I don't know.
Yes,
maybe
which
we
should
could,
list among our assets.
maybe there's something that it couldn't resist, like an enemy, and if it thought its enemy was outside the cave. Or, I don't know
Has
what.
a taste for Hester's. Let's hear Marley's plan before I say the next stupid thing in my mind.
I can conjure a shit ton of animals, and
Exactly.
maybe if I send in a whole bunch of birds or something, one of them can grab it, and he won't be able to kill all of the birds, or something. Or it could create enough of a distraction that he's too busy killing birds to.
That is adorable as it is possibly feasible. He can just breathe fire on a mess of birds. But at the same time, maybe he's just kind of birds, what are these? Also, if our
I could
impression
pair
of
up
the fact...
and touching all of his gold, then maybe he'll be distracted by oh my gosh, all of my gold is getting touched rather than just one thing.
Stop
Well,
touching
and
all my
again-
gold.
Pardon me if this gets a
What do
little
we know?
metagamey, but if we're understanding that it has kind of a gold sense, right? Like a gold tremor sense, birds may not trigger that, at least not right away until they grab something. If they fly over his gold, he's not getting the, what's that? A hobbit, whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
I like conjuring birds and risking birds more than I like risking Hesters and Storms.
Is this some sort of repressed? I'm sorry, I don't mean to bring this up here. We're in a meeting, but I mean, is this some sort of sublimated hostility towards your patron? I mean, she's a raven, and you want to kill birds?
Oh, no, I was just using birds as an example. It could be snakes or whatever.
Okay. Birds can fly, though. Snakes, though, would crawl right over the gold, and that might be a trigger right there.
I was just thinking of a beast that could carry things also.
Oh, absolutely, right.
Oh, shoot.
Well, what do we
I
know
have
about
an
Ignan?
infinite amount of owls.
You do have an infinite amount of owls.
Willow very slowly turns her head to look at you.
She's a danger hoe, though.
You're the danger hoe.
Yeah, but she's not a suicide hoe, right?
Brought this on myself. Thanks to you.
Just,
What does Minerva know about Ignan? Does Ignan have any particular stories, any nemesis, any grudges, any weaknesses, any covetousnesses? Does it specialize in gems? Can we offer it lore?
Okay, so Ignan indeed, or I'm sorry, Minerva did do research in Winvania's tower about Ignan. So let's. She's been kind of pondering this whole time, and she says, yes, he's been retired for a long time, was infamous on his home planet as the bane of adventurers. Perhaps vanity in that regard, how he never fell to any of his adventurers, and they attempted to craft a giant iron spear to shoot at him, and he's like, oh, fuck that.
That
and then
spear rock or whatever? Where does Prince of the Apocalypse start? Isn't that kind of the story of
Lance Rock?
Lance Rock, right? Isn't that part of the story of it? Some giant threw a spear
yes.
at him. Okay, I wasn't sure if you were doing a deep dive there. All right.
No, I was referencing Lake Town and the Hobbit kind of thing.
Okay. Oh, right. Yes, that's right. That's right. The easier reach, Marty. Yes.
So
yeah, a bard named Archer attempted to shoot it. It just didn't work.
Oh, as opposed to awesome.
Cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Okay. Well, the other thing is, who can we count amongst our allies? One thought I just had is let's go to like a good world and be like, let's go saddle up and ride. But almost certainly there's some provision in hero space that says you can't just do that.
Yeah,
you can't invade
is
neighboring planets. Otherwise, they would do it all the time.
It is frowned upon.
Yes. Frowned upon is not a no.
It's a good way to get you kicked out.
Okay, well, all right.
It doesn't not happen, but you will get kicked out of retirement. Also, you have to think about, you're getting, fucking the barbarian from the Discworld books who's like 1 billion years old. And...
Yes, Cohen.
But wait a second. On that thought, though, there were other dragons on Chaosstrom. What if one of them is more... oh, fuck Ignan. I don't like him.
Oh, it's like Statler and Wells, or Scott Waldorf and Statler and Waldorf.
You've jumped my next move, maybe, because I was thinking we do have a little bit of an angle on, what is it, a ruby dragon? But then again, that involves going from one world to another.
Sardior, the god of neutral dragons.
But
I have the sigil sequence to Manchun's teleportation ship, but I could go and talk to him and get him to help us.
The problem with...
Will he?
Well,
and Sardior famously chained Thera's Dune. He might rise to the challenge, but again, you have to go from A, a neutral position, you know what I mean? And B, go from a neutral position to, yes, this is worth my time, and doesn't claim part of the treasure. I think we get ourselves in trouble there.
The other problem with trying to find Manchun is you have to hope he is in this sphere when you use the teleportation sigil.
Right.
Sequence. So I will make a roll. I will give you odds on it, and I will tell you and stuff.
Yeah, you'll tell me how
and I won't kill you if you teleport into the flow or something like that. Well, that also. Oh yes, that would confirm
to see if he's in the sphere, and then we can teleport to him.
That may not work. He typically has mind blanket casted on himself.
He does. It's super spooky for someone who typically reads minds. Okay, let's start with this table. Who's with us?
Okay, sorry. Let me think.
As far as who's an actionable member of the Winter's Tooth or what have you?
Who's allied to the cause, right?
The elves, the Bugman.
Okay,
and Karis Coldforge.
Okay.
You might be able to convince Honey of Bees. Joey Winters is out. He will pilot you there. He is not. No, he's not going near your planet. He doesn't care how many parachutes you got, how many kids he can throw at it.
You are cosplaying as a space pirate to get over abandoning your children. I have zero respect for this man.
Hey, tell me when you got to fight some bird empire, and I'm down.
Oh, that's the reason we're doing this. Is because this dragon is, devoted to the Shi'ar Empire.
All right, so, we've doubled our crew. We have our interns, but they are babies. They are in danger if we put them anywhere near an ancient and possibly elder ancient dragon. It's a named villain in another campaign, so it's definitely worth considering. We should protect them, or if we have them do anything, it's get 3 of them in a giant suit or something, so that they can off ski as soon as the action starts. Mother, the average level of your crew?
She says, she is a seasoned adventurer. She is roughly your level.
Okay. That's what I was expecting at best. So yes, that's fine.
Everyone else on the crew is about level 6.
Okay.
So they're not unhelpful, but they're not you guys.
Again, if we can heist movie this, we're probably being better off in general. I love the Palantir idea because it's curious. It's using an asset that we have on the table. At the same time, I hate the Palantir idea because it puts one of us on a whole other planet.
It's terrible, and also a whole lot of danger.
Yes. You have to pass a save even to be trying it.
And we don't know, just because it went well for you one time doesn't mean that it's going to go well the next time.
Right.
Technically, it went well for me twice.
Okay. Well,
pushing your luck.
Yeah. What about?
Well, then
I have a system. It's called
right?
Let It Ride.
But Hester's system that time was using her banked rolls.
Yes, which I have.
But she also had advantage because of my spell.
She did, so you could give whoever does it again advantage. And if it's Hester, she has her banked rolls, one of which I believe is a 19 currently.
Currently, yes.
Well, I mean, you brought up the Palantir, so I was just thinking that it's a way that the dragon wasn't aware of your entry until you were already in.
Yes, and I was able to. I wish I wasn't here. I wish I wasn't here. I wish I wasn't here. So I didn't have to sneak past it again.
Right. You were able to influence it with your will, right? So.
Yes.
That's the only reason, because it'd be something they wouldn't expect, and doesn't seem like it operates on the same rules as, say, a teleportation spell would.
It seems to break all spelljamming rules that have been established.
Right. It's more whatever psionic or far realmy or something.
But as Hester said, Storm, with his very high charisma and his giving himself advantage, statistically, it might just make sense for Storm to do it. Like it's up to you all, and if you could try and bring a couple people in with you, like it's a thing. You go
for me, I don't see much of the difference between sneaking in through the Palantir and sneaking in through the front door. Like it seems, like it's dangerous either way, but at least it's a danger we know versus a danger we have no fucking clue about.
That's true.
Worthy consideration. Another thing is the Palantir, as I think we should call it like the Friendatir or something again, because the Tolkien estate is very litigious. Christopher is now deceased, God rest him, gone too soon at 94 or whatever, but
as old as this dragon.
Yes. That is also a backdoor for the planet-to-planet rule. We could have a neutral dragon, for instance, go into the Palantir and meet us on the other side, perhaps. Or at least dream scoot around. That way we don't have to go through customs, so to speak, to get
an ally in.
Because my other thought, and this is kind of because my current thought is I bang a dinner plate outside of this thing's cave, and I'm kind of like, hey, I'm a Hester. Maybe you've heard of us. Goad it to come outside. Do some trickery where I do all kinds of nonsense that doesn't take concentration. My mother shows up and is kind of like, hey, remember me? And does some nonsense that doesn't require concentration. And we distract the thing. The other thing is, there are probably... I messaged Hester in Hero Space and got like 7 U-ups like within like a minute. Like, so it is not impossible that we could go get
a council of
Hesters. A small council of Hesters. We prefer a parliament, by the way. That's what I've been working on, Mother. You can...
What about Winvadia's dragon boyfriend?
Well, that's 100% on the table. So this might go to the point of planning where we might want to take this offline ultimately, because there's probably a lot of things going. But I do think our best bet is through distraction and trickery. We don't want a prolonged conflict with this dragon. However, we must plan.
Because
I'd like you to say that in any of our character voices to trust that it's not Andy asking us why not. But we must be prepared for this turning into a physical conflict. Like everything going tits up, like from the rip, and we now are fighting a super ancient dragon.
Yes.
So let's all put that in our objective is the Ruby Raven Skull, and if we can get at it, the library. That is
Well, I mean,
purely
yes.
frosting, I think.
Well, but if we're, I would feel obligated to at least try because of, if we're accepting help from them, from your mother, we want to help her. And I mean, her quest, it seems like her quest is everybody's quest, right? It's going to be good for everybody if we can stop this.
Is there like a book from the library that we could get you, or?
She says if you can get into the library and you see any titles, just grab them, kind of thing.
I should do that.
But she didn't even get to look at the library.
Right. What led you there?
Go in with a bag of holding.
That it's the oldest library. That it comes from actual Celestia. Like what led you to?
That legend has it that it came from Sarenspace before it fell.
Okay.
So that it entered into Ignan's horde whilst it towards the end of Sarenspace's kind of thing. Okay. And it's supposed to be it's allegedly like kind of a Library of Alexandria kind of thing where it's like all of the spheres knowledge. Okay. So if there was a more current book, it's just like, hey, what's up with all these clockwork horrors?
Oh, I've got to get.
We're hoping for a drums in the deep kind of journal entry. Understood. All right, so that's worth a dash. At the very least, I would like us to lose no other lives in the pursuit of this, but we need to go there anyway, right? We know that.
Yes.
We're doing this for Marley and the Raven Queen. The objective that we might get a better lead on these lost ones is a secondary objective. But I think while we're there, right, we're not going to be any closer any sooner. So I definitely think that's worth it. We have a way that we know that we can get what we believe to be physically present, if not at least metaphysically present enough to bother the dragon. And that might be a workaround for the planet-to-planet visa. I do think the majority of us will need to be physically present on... it's not Chaosium, but
that's
I'm close.
fine. I mean, I can even...
Chaostrum.
I can try and get in from the front, whatever, and be the thief.
Is there any other allies we're not considering? And like you mentioned, Manchun. I don't think he's an ally, really. I think he'd demand too high a price. At that point, I'd rather fight an ancient red dragon, perhaps. But going and getting ourselves deeper in debt with Manchun isn't our worst plan. It's not our best plan.
Saying it's someone that we've come across who's powerful, who has allies, who has resources, and who might have an interest in a dragon's hoard or something from it.
Depending on how Windvania's first date went, spoilers, we know it didn't go great. It was awkward at best. We might have a cloud giant or her ruby dragon boyfriend, who is apparently a hero of legend itself.
Well, then, we might need to parlay that too. We might need to, that out as it, because, no matter how heroic a dragon is still a dragon. It's gonna, right?
Yes.
It's a personality to deal with. What were we gonna say, Marley?
Maybe that real cool Druid lady.
Oh yeah.
She seemed to take quite a shining to you.
She's,
I wasn't there,
invested in the Raven Queen.
I heard it.
So, what's the protocol here with this, with the hero space? I mean, like, there are ways around this, right? Because you were able to get in and via Tensor.
Get Tensor to vouch for us.
Yeah, so you could certainly try and get Tensor to vouch for you again. He did it once before. He did it for this lady once before. Although, actually, Marty just left. I just realized she has a way onto the planet, which is she never gave back her crystal. Because she died. And she's just like, well, Hester's dead. This gnomish lady can just leave and keep her crystal. So you have a way onto the planet.
Before that Knifey also has a way on?
Knifey is technically a chaotic evil character. So he could, hey, it's your boy, Knifey. Stream it on Witch.
Membership has its privileges, right? It's part of the Chaotic Evil Union.
So he could try and leverage. You'd have to try and talk him up, be like, "Oh, he's such a hero," or villain, I guess. It is frowned upon to kill people, to kill inhabitants of Hero Space. However, in the instance of Hester and this dragon, Hester asked him a question and he attacked her. That's self-defense. Like, you may not be allowed back in Hero Space. Do you need to go back to Hero Space necessarily after this? Or, you wait 3 hours, or you wait 3 years and your star level goes down to 0, and you're fine.
Right.
Marty, I did say while you were gone, I realized that one of the ways you have onto Chaos Room is your mother never gave back her crystal because she died. So she didn't feel like she needed to give back her past crystal.
Okay.
And Knifey is chaotic evil, so if you need to.
Yes, and we had talked about maybe having Villyana kind of run a, a con.
Oh yeah, I'm so evil.
Right.
Oh yeah. My heart brims with darkness.
I hate friendship.
Oh man, that's the worst. Am I right? I hate just the tender, loving embrace of a friend. So yes, we have a couple cons we can run there. Another thing worth consideration, which I just considered while I was away for a second there, is we don't have to do this next. We could go level up, we've certainly have an Eyes of Fire situation that we have to deal with. I don't know how pressing the Lost Ones. Obviously, the Lost Ones are kind of like story arc big bad guys here, but they are doing their evil business regardless.
Yes, your mom will say it is to put this in. I don't always like to do this, but to put this in sort of meta plot video game terms, almost like they are a big background threat right now. Finish all the stuff you want to do before you do some stuff that might take you several episodes to deal with. Right. So if you want to do Eyes of Fire, if you want to even just go explore, like, hey, that planet sounds cool, let's go down there, I would suggest doing all that stuff and then doing this.
Yes, they are the Reapers.
Yes.
Here. Like, they're going to end the game when we're... Well, not necessarily, but you get the idea that they are... All right, so...
You're going to get, a notification. Do you want to complete any side
are you
quests?
sure?
I have a little note in here that if you were going to do a certain thing today, I'd be like, hey, everyone, just an FYI. Complete side quests before you do this. This will take you away for a while.
Okay.
Please save the game and...
Yes. So... Let's discuss between crews. Do you have any other immediate leads that aren't fighting ancient red dragons? You were on to interviewing some clockwork gnomes, but I didn't feel like that was going very well.
It did not go well. She says,
because yes, at least leveling up one more time, I think would really benefit us when it comes to this next quest.
And metagame wise, you all will level up very soon. Okay. If you do one more thing before you do this, you'll level up.
And gain more allies, maybe even kind of make a big...
So if we kill Joseph Winters and his crew, we'll get enough AC to level up, right?
His biggest crime is he
brings
loves
us more towards chaotic evil. Right. So 2 birds with one stone.
Right. They'll invite us on the planet.
Okay. So one of the other things is there are your mother. You're kind of at the edge of known space. Like Minerva pulls out a big map, and fairy space is kind of in the upper right corner, and there's a bunch of other spheres connected to it. Your mother points beyond it and says that she believes there is an area out here called the Hidden Reaches. And she was going to attempt to explore that to see if perhaps they had encountered lost ones, if maybe that's even where they were from, see if they could find anything like that. A sphere that survived contact but was, kind of disconnected or lost spelljamming technology kind of thing in the... It's a little bit of grasping at straws, but she had no good plan to go back to Chaostrum until she also leveled up.
Yes, understood. Okay.
I have some thought.
Sure.
I like the idea of maybe pursuing that. Also sort of maybe strengthening a bond with your mother and spending a little time with pursuing one of her goals. That is also going to help us with our goals and her. But I was wondering if maybe Marley wanted to try and connect with the Raven Queen for guidance, because we know where this object of interest is that's relevant to her in our quest. We know where it is. We know how we could get into it, but maybe if we just asked for guidance as to whether, I don't know, just for guidance, because we're sort of her agents in a way with regard to that, right? So,
Yeah.
are you nervous about it? I wouldn't bring it up if I thought it would be a problem.
I just, I don't. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Now's probably a good time, right? Like, she's probably in
Her castle, where she always is.
Well, you wouldn't want to interrupt her shows, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She really likes her stories.
Yeah.
Well, she must be aware of what's happening. She must be aware of what's going to happen or what could happen, because that's part of her wheelhouse is destiny, fate, as we've discussed. So, is it going to be a problem to ask her? Maybe.
I just don't know how.
Oh.
Never done it before, but I could give it the old Shadowfell try.
I lean over to my mother. She's a druid, not a cleric, so if that's, like just... Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not a one-for-one thing.
You can do it! Turn into a bear!
Summons dream bears. Okay, well, let's consider. I don't want to miss out on our window of opportunity to catch this Eyes of Fire fellow.
Yeah, maybe I could, try it on the way or something.
But isn't Eyes of Fire coming here?
We believe this is where he's going next. There was also if we get there back in 2 days to Windvania, which might shore up what we know and don't know about what we can or can't do with Windvania, we could catch him in hero space. And then perhaps my mother could check the outer rim with her crew. I don't cherish the idea of splitting again so soon, but it might be best to collect intelligence right now.
Not to be caddist or anything, but did Honey Bees know anything about when
she said
Eyes of Fire was
soon?
I wonder where you were going with that.
And
because I couldn't remember if Storm had relayed that information to us.
I don't think
so...
her whole evil plan, I think, is currently between them two.
Anything. So,
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I will say that as far as I know, I mean, didn't you say that Eyes of Fire would be here in 2 days?
Oh yeah. She says she doesn't know when he would return here, just that he would return here. But you do know he is allegedly going to Hero Space. Presumably he is coming here after Hero Space, but that is not... She cannot confirm nor deny that. It is logical that is true.
So we could go there, and we could have that be something we explore, as well as look at maybe talking to Windvania for alliance / advice, and or Dragon Paramore.
Yes. I feel like there's more to be discovered there.
Right.
And we know where he's going to be there, whereas we're guessing where he'll be here.
Well, he said he would be there.
Yes.
Again.
Well,
and that's what those guys said to me, and I don't know. don't recall. I don't think I could tell what they thought of me. I think they thought I was an idiot, but kind of didn't. But I'm not sure, and so I don't know if their information is reliable or not. And I sort of get the impression that maybe Honey Bees' info might be more verifiably on the level, or I don't know. It feels like it's more on the inside to me, rather than something that people who might have been suspicious of me put out to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because she's coming at it from like, oh yeah, I heard he's going to be here soon. From people on the inside and participating with other members of the group, because she did this training exercise. Whereas those other guys, I don't know if I trust what they told me necessarily. If the stuff aligns, sure.
Well, Mr. of Stars.
Yeah.
If I can say, that was actually like a forward party that seemed to have his direct ear, where this person may or may not be a purring sycophant. Now,
oh wow!
Listen, okay. First off, love your accent.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So, but also, I did get to overhear them speak of you in your absence, and they actually. The one was like, "Why are you wasting your time with that idiot?" The other one's just like, "You don't know. He seems to have like a pretty cool vibe." So, like, at least one of them was interested in recruiting you to the greater cause. So, from that perspective, I do think you were given the straight
Legit.
poop.
Oh, okay.
Plus, if we go back to that planet and I, for some reason can't get a hold of like the Raven Queen or whatever, I could always try and ask cool Druid lady if maybe she's got any tips and tricks.
Absolutely.
I don't mean to be religiousist, but where we come from, we mostly associate the Raven Queen with neutrality. So there might be other people with conduits to your goddess?
Yeah, maybe it'll like boost the signal.
Perhaps a cleric or maybe even a whole cloister. I don't know. Is cloister still, never religious.
Could make
A cluster of clerics.
A cluster, a murder.
A murder of clerics. That's good.
Not
It's
a pious of clerics.
Yeah, it's an argument of wizards.
A murder of Shadar-kai.
And it's an insufferable of clerics. No, that's paladins.
That's paladins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to say what I just thought of for the group for bards. We'll talk about it off stream.
Okay.
A key party of bards.
Yeah.
Yeah, close.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
I was making it was more monosyllabic, which is.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. We've got a lot. We basically have an entire universe that's open to us. I do think we should try and intercept the Eyes of Fire while we know where they're going to be and when. It will either turn out to be a sweater, a strand of a sweater that we have to unravel, or it will be maybe allies that we can get on our sides, or maybe it will be a boss fight that will get us enough XP to level up. Regardless, I'm
very curious about it. I mean, I'm curious about all of it, so that's fine.
Well,
sure.
And I think that curiosity will continue to be a distraction, in so much that you are still interested in seducing a woman who's spent high-level spells on trying to just fuck you over. Like,
oh yeah.
What? I'm sorry.
Are
we talking about this in front now?
I think Joseph is into it.
Yeah,
like,
Joey, she kind of whispers something in Joey's ear, and then she makes eyes at you, Storm, like, oh yeah, she's in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think we're blowing Joseph's mind.
No, it's nothing he's seen before. He hasn't seen before, I'm sure.
No,
but like,
yeah, this is in his favorites. So, yes, I think let's figure out what that is. Is it friend or foe? Is it a problem? Is it? Does it lead back to? Am I making an assumption that your mother? This is as much Marty asking right now, that your mother has been invoked in this side quest.
yes.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if Hester knows that or not, but consider that. So I definitely think it's worth investigating, either to put it to bed or to find out what's next in it.
Yes.
And
I agree. Absolutely.
Okay. And that lets us resource gather, because again, I think Ignan and ultimately then the Lost Ones are kind of the...
Sounds like a band.
Ignan and the Lost Ones.
Ignan and the Lost Ones.
Yeah. They are currently red in my quest ledger, which makes me think we're not supposed to do that one yet. Though with great cleverness, I think we could. I just think we should perhaps treat this as more a midterm goal and start approaching things that we can kind of pick off. Because even just being back in Hero Space, we visited one planet. We could visit other planets. I can go to Neutral Good all day. Like,
yeah, and
we might...
Kind of anything that's adjacent to your alignment, you're good with.
Right, okay, good.
So you all could go to Neutral Good, I think.
Okay. So yeah, we can resource gather, information gather, ally gather.
Well, I'm like chaotic neutral with good tendencies, so I've got
all the better.
Pretty good spread, yeah. But I like the idea of gathering intelligence too, because who knows what we may run into that could be an unforeseen ally, an unforeseen, Achilles heel, point of interest to.
Yes, my biggest concern there is sending my mum out of Sphere where I can't just contact her.
Does she have to go out of Sphere?
Well, I don't.
Well, can't she come with us?
I'll say this half looking at her and half looking at everyone else. I don't think she'll sit idle without us anyway. Doesn't seem in her.
So, Strongheart, do you want to come with us?
She kind of thinks for a minute, and she says, I can. And looking at Lily, says, and I would, and I will. If you think that is if you think our efforts are best concentrated. But I have always been of the opinion that you split the party whenever you can.
Does sound like wisdom.
It's really smart. You get more done.
You get more done. You cover more ground. You spread your forces out.
As thin as possible.
You put your clerics at opposite poles. Everyone always says so. No, but I
wizard in first.
I mean, Wimbania's got a big library, maybe.
If there was any way, that is true. Yes, and I'm not. I, of course, would love to not suggest my mother to more danger, even, of course. But you all have the strongest leads and the most emotional buy-in to this whole Lost Ones idea. I think what we're doing right now is chasing down the Tabaxi death cult. I don't know that the two are aligned, but listen, if Andy pulls all those strings together, respect. I'm like, yeah, for real. But just in case he hasn't, because I think there's a few disparate elements there. I do think that so long as I could know how to contact you, that doesn't involve making charisma saving throws. That would really ease my mind about letting you go. But the between spheres thing is, of course, the bugbear.
The hard part. But you said this Winvania has a library.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So really, and I'm not just saying this because it's a Giants library, but it's a pretty big library.
It is. Both are true. Yes.
The font is rather large. Easy to read.
She nods and thinks for a second and says, it would be good to stay close, and it's still dividing our efforts smart or wisely.
And if we you have any other representative alignments on your crew, they could maybe resource gather. Then we're in the same sphere, and then I will gladly follow you to literally the end of the universe once we've kind of sorted out this more immediate need.
Yes. She thinks for a moment and nods.
I message Marley and Storm individually to say thank you.
I message you back with a
Say out loud, you're welcome.
It's good.
I'm still not gotten a hold of the whole message thing.
Subtle.
Knifey says, "Bless you."
He's covering for you without even realizing, right?
I thought we were just saying things.
So does that mean that the Winter's what's it called? The Winter's Tooth is going to stay sort of in our orbit for a while, since we're not going to Chaotic Evil Land?
Yeah, and Joseph kind of leans forward and he says, and if perhaps we wanted to do some sort of, I don't know, crew exchange to make sure everyone experiences everything they want to.
Said not right now. No, thank you. It's a no for me, dog.
Not right ever.
Marley's busy forever, it turns out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has not stopped looking at Storm the whole time.
Well, I'm gonna preen. I am very beautiful. I'm gonna preen my fur and sort of expand my personal presence. I'm gonna sort of open my arms out wide and do all that sort of douchey space taking stuff.
It's called a cat spread. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Cat spread. Yeah.
My cats do sit like that sometimes. Yeah. Just
Yeah. Exactly.
all over the place.
What are you gonna do?
Not a pretty sight all the time, right? But never fails to elicit a laugh. Yeah, so I'm gonna just puff out. I'll just purr enigmatically and focus on honey of bees.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
The worst. The worst character.
It's the worst
He's
character.
terrible.
I'm so proud of you.
Maybe she can get us on the chaotic evil planet.
What? Unfortunately, I
Right?
tend
Yeah.
to live in
yeah.
In neutral good. What are the alignments of Kore and
Orpho?
Orpho?
Orpho is, I believe, good. Let me see.
Let me see.
He might be. Let me see
Oh,
here.
not my characters. I want my campaigns. Star Chasers.
This is in that campaign. Why isn't it? PM pop up.
I wrote it down.
Where do we find our alignment on D&D Beyond? I can never find
Might
shit
be
on it.
features and traits or
I don't think it comes up on the sheet though,
Description.
unless you.
under
it comes
description.
up
I
on
found
this.
it, but you still have to have filled it in. Like, it doesn't.
Right, yeah.
Maybe I don't know if I did on here.
But anyway, because and this is putting a little bit of track in front of you, Andrew, as well. We could maybe write a side mission in part of things. One of the things that Hester is interested in is pursuing
neutral.
lawful neutral.
Yeah.
One of the
for
things
me, right?
is Lily Hester is interested in seeing if we can find other Hesters to maybe get them on board with this plan too. So maybe we run a side mission, if not next episode, an episode or two. Again, not to sign you up for anything, Andrew, but something to consider. If we could spread our resources, like literally, like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you want to send the interns to do something,
yeah, like
like on the lawful neutral planet, which I don't have that pulled up in front of me, but I can't very easily.
Yeah, we've got lawful neutral. Again, we have neutral good, which we could send them there instead of us. Did you say Corey's?
Lawful neutral was Corey's.
It was Corey's, and that was also Orpho's?
I didn't look at his.
I'm looking for mine now. I thought I'd put in. I don't have it filled in here.
You can. You can say whatever. I did assume he was some flavor of lawful, but
he's very lawful.
Yeah,
he could be lawful neutral, but he's just because he's and we know how elves are. I'm wondering about this Elven Empire, Andy.
You got 3 elves in the group too, and you got 2 defectors, so you can certainly.
Right. We could check out the Elvish Armada, see if there's something there. All right, so we've got.
Orpho could ask them about. These. Yeah.
So we have expansive options. So we've all agreed we're going to go back to Hero Space. We are going to return to the neutral world of Geneva to try to intercept Eyes of Fire while we think we know where he's going to be.
That sounds right.
We can send my mother's crew and or our interns on any amount of side missions or side hustles if we think that's cool. Andy's like, actually, I have a great idea for that, whatever, in the intervening week. The important thing to get closer to the resolution of this episode and so Andy can sleep tonight is we are going back to Hero Space for right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
My mother and her crew presumably are electing to come with us back there.
Correct.
They will be independent agents once they get there, though. They're not going on the Tabaxi side plot right now.
Except for probably Honey of Bees.
Right. Yes. It seems like she's. Oh yeah.
Yeah. She is going to tag. Well, that was her whole deal to begin with. So,
she is invested.
Yeah. So that might mean you get Joey too.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So let me think on it, but I do like the idea of because we have not had a full intern episode yet.
Yeah, so that's part of what I was thinking about.
I do think that next episode will be an intern episode.
Oh, great. Okay.
I think that could be fun.
So let me think on that. Let me figure out where it makes sense to send you all, / if you have a preference on where you would like to go.
Sure.
I will get the descriptions of the planets again and send them to you.
Great.
All.
And story-wise, I like that kind of delays the satisfaction of the Tabaxi side plot, too, of like just puts it between, we're almost there.
Yeah. Or then it's a race against time of, oh no, we found out X, Y, or Z. We need to go get back to the main group. If there is something bad, or even if they're just not going to be there, we got to make sure they go get them to get back into fairy space or whatever.
We find out something like totally deadly about that the other group has no idea about.
Okay.
We did it, you guys. We found a ring that makes you super attractive to red dragons. They can't wait to eat you.
Oh, wait.
Is that what you wanted? I'm sorry. I faded in and out.
Chomp, chomp.
Knifey said it was cool.
I was stirring a soup for half of it.
I was mental high five, man. I was just thinking. Cooking, distracted. What?
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
I heard it. Yeah, something about the red dragon.
Ring of red dragons.
Ask Gwynvania for more herbs and your other friend.
On it.
Okay. So, everyone, the crew of the Winter's Tooth will return to their ship, unless, except for Hester.
Okay.
What do you say anything to Honey of Bees before she leaves, Storm?
Oh yeah.
I say
she kind of lingers for a second, like she wants you to say something to her.
Sure.
I say remember what I said. Keep considering and consider all that you could perhaps have as a regular benefit of being part of the crew.
She kind of gets uncomfortably, or not. She gets into your personal space.
Uh-huh.
She kind of
uncomfortable.
Yeah, and she kind of purringly says, "Oh yeah." And she doesn't quite touch you, but does that cat thing where she gets very close to touching you, and you have to move to actually make contact.
Right. I feel like it's that whole static electricity kind of thing, where that's part of the whole foreplay aspect of the Tabaxi relate is like building up that sort of you don't quite touch, but you feel the zap about to happen.
The charge. Crackle.
Yeah.
And she walks back for now onto the Winter's Tooth.
Yep. That's good.
Hester is very curious about your ship. Kind of goes around. Alvar is happy to point out some stuff, but otherwise he gets into the helm and he's been going for a while. So if someone else wants to take the helm for a bit,
I'll do it.
Storm, awesome. He's like, thank you so much.
Yep. So my highest is a 5th level.
Okay, so you guys
we can cruise for a while.
It. And maybe showing off a little bit, you are immediately faster than the Winter's Tooth. The Winter's Tooth is kind of like...
We actually... you pull up to the gate to leave the sphere, just kind of rev the engine. Rev the engine.
But it's really me purring. Because the ship is like silent as a ghost.
Yeah.
I'll offer to Hester, like, hey, your mom can sleep in our room with you if you want. I'll find like a couch or something.
You can have my bed. I'll sleep up in the crows.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful, Marley. Thank you. Yes, I think we could do some general catching up. I think.
I only trance for like 4 hours, so
that's fine.
Yeah, that would be great. I think we have some space adventures to catch up on, but obviously you're welcome as well. We can kind of girl out. We don't take up a ton of space, but however you feel comfortable, I'd
love to hear about space adventures too. I can do that until like you guys start to get like sleepy, and then I can not be the creepy elf trancing in the corner.
Yeah, I'd like to hear about space adventures too. So I mean, maybe we can all sit up, and then when everybody gets tired,
if you're piloting the ship, you can just kind of
hop in.
I'll eavesdrop.
Yeah, you can essentially eavesdrop and
see how you like it.
Add little bit.
I'll be like, how does it feel?
Like it feels both not great and kind of like I'm into it. Yes. No.
feel vindicated that you're enjoying it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
She goes, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So yeah, catching up. Hester,
and of course I show her around. You know what I mean? I have a big giant dragonfly ship. I'm showing off a little bit, but then every once in a while, it's just kind of like, wait, you've been to space, you get it.
But she does say your ship is nicer than the Winter's Tooth. Your captain is a scoundrel, but a better scoundrel, it seems.
What? This whole thing?
We got it from Space Penguins.
Oh, Delwar. Weird, right?
Yeah.
Never try and read their minds. You did a what?
Oh, we like killed a dragon when we were in that like general area.
Like a real dragon?
No, somebody like stapled wings onto an alligator or something.
It was. Come on,
it really.
You hear the voice around you. You've seen a dragon.
I've now seen an actual dragon. Yeah, and it just proves to me that was no dragon.
At best, like a drake or a wyvern.
Yeah.
Still killed it real cool.
No, absolutely.
Mrs. Strongheart thanks you profusely for your kindness, Marley and Storm, and for making sure that Hester has friends in space and for caring for her, and she is very grateful. and says that to the whole crew. But you two seem the closest to her, as you are.
Yeah.
Oh, so you think we're friends? Okay, cool. Took your mother to tell me, but okay.
And that kind of goes on into the night. Marley, as you trance, you close
What
your
dragon is gonna fuck with me this time?
and through rolling mist, you hear the caw of 1,000 ravens. Looking up, you see in a tree just full of ravens. The shadow cast looks like that of a woman, and from it steps forth the Raven Queen.
I'll immediately bow.
Okay. She stands there looking at you.
I was just about to call you.
She nods.
I found your blood crystal raven skull. I didn't find it in the sense of that I have it. I found it as in I know where it is. There's a big red dragon, ancient red dragon named Ignan, on a planet called Chaostrum, and gonna get it, but I haven't gotten it yet. And I was hoping for maybe some guidance, because he's real big and real scary.
She nods, and she says, "Mine."
Mm-hmm.
And she looks around. She nods again, and she says, "Friends."
Yeah, my friends are gonna help. Should I get, like, more friends to help? Did I mention he's an ancient red dragon?
She very, very briefly smiles. And she says, "Fate. Heroes."
I should get more friends that are heroes?
She looks at you as if to say, if that is what you think.
Okay. One more thing. There's been a lot of talk about using a eyeball monster to help, and I don't think that's a great idea, but a lot of people seem to think that it's a real great idea, or at least, like, an okay idea. Was just doing a general survey of your feel on that.
She says,
If my god sizes me, you have to do it.
she says, "Veza."
What?
Veza. The one that sees from afar.
Is that the eyeball monster thing? So is that a yes or a no? Like, is that a...
Oh, I don't think she gives yes or no's, honey. I'm sorry.
She looks at you and says, in her first complete sentence. What do you think?
That it's a great risk to trust something we don't know.
She gets close to you and says, "Then why did you ask me?"
Because everyone else seems to be ignoring the risk that I feel.
She pulls her hand from her sleeve and touches your heart.
I'm speechless.
She looks over her shoulder, and the shadows that turned into her turned into a dragon's head. And she looks at you and says, "Goodbye." As a dragon of shadows appears, and she goes to confront him, pulling a wicked-looking black sword from beneath her cloak.
Fuck him up.
I'd hazard a guess that we know the history of that black sword.
It has appeared on stream many a time, yes.
A few times, yes. Okay.
Hashtag not all talking swords.
Some talking swords.
Hashtag definitely that talking sword.
That talking sword, for instance, was an asshole. But may it do some good here.
Would anyone like to do anything before we do outros and plugs?
I think I'm just doddering out with my mother a lot of it. And again, anyone's invited to come and watch. Hopefully
I forgot I'm driving, so I guess I can't help but listen. But I'll respect the space. Maybe I'll sort of hum pleasant tunes intermittently as sort of space ambient sound for you guys.
Yeah.
So there I am, dressed in a maid's costume, doing just the worst Cockney I've ever done. It's like bordered on Australian. And here I'm trying to convince someone who ends up being maybe the second Hester. It's a whole thing.
What?
Anyway, then she comes back up the rope. And I'm like, quick, hide. And me and an owl as big as me. I'm looking for a closet or something. Anyway, I'm sure you've heard it a dozen times.
Girl. Okay. Outros and plugs. Timothy.
Hi, I'm Timothy. Thanks for hanging out with us while we play. I make art and I post pictures of it sometimes on Instagram. I write adventures and make homebrew stuff. And we're approaching our 200th episode of Laughing Dragon Inn. I just want to give a shout out to that. We're in the countdown. We're not quite there yet, but it's happening. And that information can get parsed out maybe in episodic suspenseful bits as we all give our bits until finally Andy sums it up. So I'm gonna tease that and say thanks again.
Excellent. Cece.
Hi, I'm Cece, aka Soup, aka Soupska on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me if you like artwork, like the overlay you see before you, or any of our beautiful overlays, or pretty much all of the character art on here except for the Storm and Orpho, because those are done by the magnificent Timothy. So yeah, I think that DMsGuild promo that we've been shouting about has ended by now. No?
I believe it's through the 17th.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a few more
sick.
days.
So yeah, so you should go to the DMsGuild. First of all, pick up all of Andy's stuff. Real cool, real good. Get all of it. Second, you want to stop by Eat the Rich Anthology. You got to get that because it has stuff by both me and Timothy in it. Third, you got to go pick up that Princess Project because I did some real cool cover art in that. So those are 3 great things that 100% of the profits will go to the creators. So should do that because it's a good deal.
Awesome. And Marty.
You heard?
Or no?
Yeah, do that. I mean, that's the worthiest cause. And also, while you're thinking about like, oh wow, I should totally buy all these different fantasy races that haven't been released in 5e yet. I want to play a Gnoll. Who doesn't want to play an Australian Hyenaman? You know what I mean? So yeah, while you're thinking about that, just leave a like. Just click a subscribe. Just what's that? Oh, you paused the video by accident there real quick. Sorry. Don't click on just anything. Like, click on something that has, like, an interactable... You've got it. You'll get there. If you're watching this on Twitch Live, I certainly click one of those things, right? So anyway, click away, buy a thing, do a thing, support a stream. You're my friend. Thanks for being a friend. Andrew.
Thank you all for being a friend as well. Please do all of the things that everyone talked about because they're all great and you should all do it. And if you like the show, tell a friend. I don't know.
Yeah.
Tweet about it. Do something.
Watch it with your friend.
Watch it with your friends.
Like a video thing.
You can talk about it and that's more fun than just watching it.
Yeah. You can be like, those idiots, what are they doing? Yeah. Bringing everyone together? They should obviously split the party. Ugh.
Everyone knows.
Them. I'm going to leave a comment about it on their YouTube VOD.
Yeah, and hey, Logan or Music, whoever's going to leave the first comment, I'm on to you, you weird bots. Stop it.
It's weird, but you know what? They're interacting, and I appreciate it.
Don't know if it's good interaction. I feel like it hurts somehow.
Yeah, it might not be great.
I tend to remove those comments. That's it. It's what's this week? 3D Art at the End is on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Suburbia is on Sunday, and not 3D Art at the End with Art at the End with Soup is on Monday. And I believe
is one of them the 200th. I know we're
Art
in the.
That means Task Force Unlikely is going to be episode 200, I believe.
I thought it was going to be mine.
I think it's Art at the End.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah.
It is Art at the End.
It is.
Right.
I think so. So I don't know what Soup has planned, but
Yay.
I will leave that up to her. But come hang out and chat. And we can talk about 200 episodes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I want you to exclusively draw like Naruto characters or something completely like unrelated. Like
it's gonna be all Naruto feet.
Yeah.
Just that.
That is gonna get us banned.
Sasuke and Sakura. Everyone's favorites.
Anyway. Have a great night, everybody. Wash your hands, be nice to each other. All of the above.